In the modern world, we all need to understand how to work creatively. This is because the value of creative work has now become wildly disproportionately high compared to normal work in a way that we've never seen before ever in human history. The value of the work we do does not primarily depend on the time we spend working on something. It depends on the scale we can work on and on the level of competition we face. In the 20th century, all you needed to do to be able to outcompete most of the population was get a degree. Now, so many people have done this that its value has decreased dramatically and it's no longer much of a competitive advantage. But there's massive value in doing something completely unique. Working creatively is what allows you to own something with a lot of value, and this video explains how you can design a lifestyle that lets you work creatively way more often. First, we need to set our expectations straight about how creative work happens. You just can't work for 10 or 12 hours straight on the most productive type of creative work. We get mental burnout long before that. That kind of long, drawn-out, grinding process of work is how grunt work is done. Think about who does this kind of work. It's either people doing the worst possible jobs or the machines that have already started replacing them in those jobs. In the animal world, the parallel of this type of work is herbivores, like wild sheep grazing in a field all day getting small amounts of energy from the grass they eat. Modern knowledge workers trying to create as much value as possible should be more like a hunting lion that springs into action for short bursts of high intensity performance, getting massive rewards for that short period of time that was well prepared for, rather than a sheep that grazes all day making very slow progress over a prolonged period of time. Working long hours with no rest is something that machines are made for, and they're going to be doing more and more of that type of work in the future. When humans try to work like machines, they aren't doing what they do best. Humanity are meant for creative thinking, but we have to approach it the right way in shorter, well-optimized bursts. To take the way a lion works when he's hunting and apply it to human behavior, you'll need to think of yourself as an intellectual athlete. Think about how athletes live their lives. It's actually very similar to a lion's behavior pattern. They train hard for a long time, then they perform at the peak of their abilities for a relatively short period of time. Then they rest and rejuvenate and reflect on their performance. So an intellectual athlete will start out with training as well. This means constant learning, improving your skills and researching the ideas you're most interested in. All in a way that's focused, but not with the sense of time pressure that would diminish your ability to retain information. Training also means improving your health and state of mind, which ironically includes actual physical training, as exercise will improve your creative ability. The next step, when you feel energized enough, is to perform in your mental equivalent of a sporting event, which means actually creating something. For this, you want a great environment with no distractions, so you can do deep work and try to achieve a flow state where the challenge is completely in line with your abilities. Don't let the absence of any of these little optimizations become an excuse to procrastinate though. You need to push through any mental resistance you experience and just start if you're using those kind of excuses. You should also train yourself to be as uncritical as possible about what you're creating while in the process of creating it, as negative self-talk is another way that your brain tries to convince you to stop creating. Next up is rest, but this doesn't just mean lounging on our backsides all day. We need seriously engaged, hardcore relaxation to keep up our top-level performance when necessary. Just as every great athlete knows that allowing time for physical recovery is how they keep up their performance, an intellectual lion knows that mental recovery is part of doing their best work. The best types of activity for mental recovery are things that give your brain a different kind of stimulus than what you're used to, which means trying new things. Because this is how you re-energize yourself mentally, while also allowing your subconscious to keep working through the ideas you were thinking about during your psychological sprint. You will see new connections between ideas when you're doing things that are different to what you usually do. Finally, alongside your rest and recovery period, you can reflect on the work that you did. Leaving self-criticism for the end of a burst of creativity will enable you to improve over time without sabotaging yourself while you're in the middle of the creative process. This is where a human being will actually surpass a lion. The lion is limited by its biology to only be great at one specific thing, but we've got the advantage of our absolutely massive cerebral cortices. It's always big brain time for us, and we can become better at anything by thinking about what worked and what didn't. We can use what's unique to humanity to play to our strengths and become the standouts among our species. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, then click like. If you want to see more like it in the future, then subscribe. Have a great day.